It's Monday, June 11th, 2012. I'm Alex Jones, and this is yet another original, groundbreaking edition of INFOWARS Nightly News.
Tonight, Navy SEAL Chris Kyle claims in his autobiography and on national television that he once punched Jesse Ventura in a bar for insulting a fallen U.S. soldier. But multiple witnesses, along with several prominent Navy SEALs, affirm the incident never happened. And now the lawsuit against Chris Kyle over the bogus story moves to U.S. District Court. And speaking of bogus stories, another TSA study claims irradiating body scanners are safe, despite cancer warnings from experts and no independent testing allowed. Then, a major escalation in the battle over Fast and Furious, as the House of Representatives moves forward with proceedings to hold Attorney General Eric Holder in contempt. Plus, John Rappaport from No More Fake News joins Alex via video Skype.
If I were Ron Paul, like I said before, I would do a mea culpa. I would say, I'm wrong. I was wrong, I am wrong, and I'm going to fix it.
That's up next on the INFOWARS Nightly News.
Again, thank you for joining us tonight. We've got a huge transmission lined up for you. INFOWARS' own Patrick Henningsen is going to interview William F. Engdahl at the Financial Terrorism Conference in London. And then John Rappaport on the Pauls going mainstream. Mainstream Republicans, the big backlash to that. We're going to be breaking it down in detail. But first off, you love him, you hate him. There's no doubt he is a maverick. The book is out today. We're interviewing him tomorrow. Jesse Ventura, Democrips and Reblubblicans. And it says no more gangs and government. The system knows that Jesse Ventura cannot be bought. That's why News Corps, through their publisher, put out a book early this year saying that Jesse Ventura said that he's glad U.S. troops are dying. I know him personally, something he'd never say. And in fact, he says he hates the wars because our troops get killed in them. And that a Navy SEAL, Mr. Kyle, punched him out. Well, Ventura filed suit a few months ago and actually faced the guy in court. And the lawsuit is going ahead. They were in court on June 4th last week. Jesse Ventura will give us details next week. But Kyle's in a lot of trouble, according to Ventura, because he's got the owner of the bar, Ventura does. He also has his former Navy SEAL trainer who lives in the area. They all checked into it, found out it was not true, according to the owner of the bar and others. Yeah, no kidding. It'd be big news if Jesse Ventura got punched out. And this was all a big lie, according to them, to sell books. Gee, it's coming out of Rupert Murdoch, breaking this news and publishing the book. And so it's all going to go to court now. I mean, they've already gone to court, but now it's going forward. And Jesse Ventura has his witnesses. When I first called Ventura with this, he'd just gotten to Mexico when they announced it. He said, Alex, you're joking. Come on, don't sit here and play games. And I said, look, have I ever called you joking? This is the type of garbage we're talking about. And then Ventura said, my God, was somebody look like me? This is bizarre. This is the type of dirty tricks the system engages in against mavericks like Jesse Ventura. His new book is out. It supports the broadcast if you purchase it. It's available at INFOWARS.com, along with ProPure Discounted, the Life Straw, and other key preparedness items at INFOWARS.com. And again, your support of the transmission makes it all possible. I've been so busy covering Bilderberg and doing all this, I haven't even been plugging all the books, videos, T-shirts, products we sell that fund this operation. Also, one PrisonPlanet.tv membership is $5.95 a month. And it's 6 memberships. 6 people can log on with the same username and passcode. And that enables us to get out and tell you the truth about what's happening in this country and worldwide. So try out the free 15-day free trial at PrisonPlanet.tv. All right, shifting gears into more of the news. Kyle claimed that he met Ventura in a bar in Southern California in Coronado in 2006 while Ventura was in town to speak to a new class of SEAL graduates at nearby Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, which he was not there to speak to them. Also present were family members holding a wake for Michael Mansour, one of the first Navy SEALs killed in Iraq. Kyle claims Ventura became loudly objective to the war in Iraq before calling troops murderers and saying we deserve to lose a few guys. Kyle then claims he punched Ventura, knocking him to the floor, and quickly ran away. Do you believe any of this? The Navy SEALs, owners of the bar, others checked this story. Did not happen, according to them, and Ventura has those witnesses. One of the former SEALs is Ventura's former instructor, the widely respected Terry Mother Moy, the ex-SEAL who owns the bar where the incident is alleged to have occurred, is also backing Ventura. Ventura wasn't going to sue at first, but then he was, quote, ordered by his former superiors to do it because they're tired of Navy SEALs cashing in with Hollywood and to sell books telling lies, according to them. So, Kyle, boy, I warned you on the radio when we talked to you on the time when I was on the Opie and Anthony show, you better watch your butt. And the publishers of this better watch your butt because Ventura is coming after you. Okay, let's continue here, shifting gears to the big controversy. Look, I like Rand Paul. He's a good guy. I talked to him like 10 years ago. I said, hey, you can get Rand Paul on. He'll do interviews for his dad running for Congress. Let's see, you know, if the apple falls far from the tree, and it didn't. I encourage him to run. I'm very, very sad and disheartened by this, but the Liberty Movement moves on. I understand he's part of the Republican Party. What are you going to do? Mitt Romney. But, you know, your dad didn't endorse McCain 4 years ago because he understood that he was bought and paid for by the same interest. And we've gone over the flip-flopping of Romney. I mean, you got to see it to believe it. It is absolutely incredible. We have a video up at INFOWARS.com titled Mitt Romney, the King of Flip-Floppers, if you want to see it. I mean, it's amazing what these guys do. And look, I said Rand Paul on Friday, because they coordinated their announcements about, well, we won't win the delegates now, you know, and by the way, you know, Mitt Romney's a great guy. I said, hey, come out and explain yourself, at least. Don't do it on Sean Hannity. Tell us why you did this. Well, they had one of the campaign guys, Jack Hunter, come out. I'm going to read these quotes later when our guest is on with us. And he said, hey, the Republicans won't like us if we don't do this. Well, hell, get behind torture. Get behind NDAA. Get behind secret arrest. Get behind the UN commanding our military. Get behind all the illegal wars. Get behind the whole thing if that's what you think. I mean, because all the others say the same thing. Hell, I should have voted for Newt Gingrich if that's the case. Or maybe, you know, I mean, any of these other guys. It's mind-blowing to see this twisted political response to it. And again, I still love Ron Paul and like Rand Paul. It's just that now, no more honeymoon. You know, you go, well, I'm voting for sanctions, even though it's not an act of war. Sanctions are an act of war in Iran. Your dad said those are acts of war. I mean, Rand, what's the point of getting elected president down the road like you guys are saying you're doing this for if you're a globalist? You are losing your luster. That's what's happening here, and it's a sad thing. I feel like it's a betrayal. My gut, and your gut is just the synthesis of all the data, feels totally betrayed. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're going to show us. So we hope that's the case. But regardless, the fact that Ron Paul went so far, really won the first primaries, had to be cheated, shows that liberty is incredibly popular. Just because the Bilderberg Group wants to co-opt libertarianism so they can control it, doesn't matter. Those ideals of freedom are absolutely imperative. Hey, he's supporting legalization of raw milk and hemp and things like that, so the police state doesn't have excuses to bust down our doors. I'm going to still support Rand because he's much better than most of them. It's just that what we're seeing is a big bummer. People are like, hey, get mad at the New World Order. A minority of listeners and viewers. I am more mad at them. It's just that these were our guys. And so we're telling them we're unhappy. I mean, that is our right as citizens in the First Amendment. I mean, we did give them our money and our time and energy. Is it sacrilege to not want to bow down and lick the feet of Mitt Romney, a known con artist liar? Okay. Let's shift to some other criminals here in the New World Order, the real threats. House committee schedules contempt vote against Holder. We've played the news conferences before he even got busted saying they were running guns to track him. And then he says he knows nothing about it when the full scope came out. I mean, he's been caught lying. Show has Mr. or whatever its name is, the creature from outer space. Janet Napolitano, we've got some key video of her coming up, by the way. You don't want to miss that. Now Holder, is on the defensive. But again, if they actually try to impeach these people and actually go after them, then I might start supporting a little bit the Republican Party. But they can't because, as Holder said 6 months ago, Bush was involved in Fast and Furious type programs as well. So this is only being brought out now to score political points. Here's another report. Again, House moving to hold Holder in contempt. That's out of the Washington Times. The article I just showed you was out of CBS News. But they've been caught engaged in massive in-your-face insider trading in the Congress. And so don't hold your breath on them actually taking action against these people, because they are so compromised themselves. And that's the problem with the corruption of society. Once you get a bunch of crooks and semi-crooks in government, none of them can go after the really bad offenders because they've got skeletons in their closet as well. And that's when civilizations really go downhill and finally collapse. An Ethan A. Huff article at INFOWARS.com reports Gattaca becomes reality as scientists screen abort human babies based on 3,500 genetic faults. And by the way, aggression, competitiveness, they say that's a fault. And of course, a lot of children that end up having a predisposed sign that they may develop a disease, well, a lot of those diseases are being kicked on by chemicals and by GMOs in the society. You know, they want to ban soft drinks above 16 ounces in New York, the total nanny state, but let you drink aspartame and eat GMO. This is so incredibly dangerous, these designer children. And a lot of times if you have a health problem or another issue, genetically it's been found that you'll have other traits that are Einsteinian or connected to things like Tesla. Tesla was kind of an idiot savant and had weird behaviors and health issues. Again, we have a lot of gifts and a lot of minuses, and a lot of times if you have minuses in your genetics, you also, those are the valleys compared to the mountain peaks. I mean, a lot of parents are now genetically aborting babies off genetic testing or separately screening embryos for looks. Well, just because they can project that this child's going to look like a supermodel and you throw away the other 10 eggs and sperm that create the zygote, maybe that girl is not going to have the incredible maternal instincts to be a good mother or a mathematician or a pianist. Again, this is so dangerous. This is so out of control. We have a special report later in the week coming up on that, but you got to read this article. Gattaca becomes reality as scientists screen abort human babies based on 3,500 genetic faults. And again, the globalists are trying to wreck our DNA with GMO right now very effectively. Okay, moving on to something wrecking our genetics. That's cell phones, microwaves, the scanners. They've been caught where they've had them in for almost 9 years at Boston Logan with a 7-fold increase last year, in the last few years, of cancers there in a cover-up. And they lie to people and say, oh, we've done radiation testing. Oh, John Hopkins says it's safe. And then the media goes to John Hopkins and they go, actually, our study says it causes cancer. Yeah, if something can see the bones in your face, it's shooting particles in there and then reading them when they bounce back on you, okay? And yes, we're in a radiation-rich environment next to a big sun. We are bombarded by it. We get sunburns by it. But you're only supposed to get so much of it in your life. That's what kills us. That's what makes our DNA break down, is the radiation system we're in. I'm getting it from these televisions and lights around me. But nothing compared to these. These lights aren't shooting in